What's up, guys? Welcome to another Connect with Clean Juice. Guys, we're so excited that you're here today. Excited to have another opportunity to just share a little bit about franchising and clean juice and everything that's going on today. So, as you guys know, today on this webinar, we're really going to be talking through core values, finding your true north, ultimately, really what that means. For those of you that this is your first webinar joining us, I'm Dave, and I really do all things development. So it has to do from everything that comes up to prior to opening your store. And I get to work with my partner in crime here.
And I'm Stacy, and I'm over franchise development. So I get to share the clean juice opportunity with everyone who reaches out with interest and help you along in the process to own one.
So guys, before we jump into core values and finding your true north and why it's important that you align yourself with a company where you have the same values, we wanted to share a quick video with you that we put together of our current owners to really give you some insight just into what our owners are like, what's going through their thoughts and their minds and what they're sharing with your guests. So here's a quick little video, guys. Enjoy.
My name's Ross, and this is Megan. What's your name? What's your name? No.
Finley and Penelope.
And we're the owners of Clean Juice Levis Commons in Perrysburg, Ohio.
And we just wanted to say thank you guys so much for supporting us during this difficult time.
Hi everybody, this is Mike McAfee, owner and operator of Clean Juice in Nation, Florida. We are open for business. Thanks for your support. Hope to see you soon.
What's up, everybody? Megan and Nick Patel, owners of Clean Juice The Woodlands. We want to send a message out. Just saying thank you guys for the love and support that we've seen out in the store the last couple of days. I know we appreciate it as well as our team. We hope that you are a healthy body and strong in spirit. Cheers to some organic goodness. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Guys, it's Anna Yao from Clean Juice in Lexington, South Carolina. Just wanted to let you guys know our juices are flowing and we are still open to serve you organic, healthy products.
Hi guys, it's Kim Burroughs.
And I'm Lauren Burroughs.
And on behalf of us, as well as Spencer, Barley, and Caesar, we'd like to welcome you to Clean Juice Sandy Plains, located in Marietta, Georgia.
Hi, I'm Angela. I'm one of the co-owners from Clean Juice in Lincoln, Nebraska. I just want to let all of our guests know that we are still open for business. We truly appreciate your continued support, and we look forward to seeing you in the store soon.
Hey guys, my name is Kimberly Gordon.
And I'm Glenn Gordon. And I'm Tanner Gordon.
And we are the owners of Clean Juice, St. Petersburg, Florida, as well as Sarasota, UTC. And we're here to let you guys know that we're open and we're here to serve you. We appreciate you supporting local business and we can't wait to see you.
Hey everybody, my name is Scott Tieberbaum, the owner for Clean Juice here in Peaches, Indiana. First and foremost, I just want to tell everybody thank you so much. We appreciate your support here and everything that you're doing for us during this difficult time.
Hi, we're Sean and Ashley Green, owners of Clean Juice West Frisco, letting you know that we are open and here to serve you.
Our juice squad is working hard to keep our juices flowing. We appreciate all the support the community has shown us.
Welcome back.
Hey everyone. So does your business align with your true north? I am personally really excited and passionate about what we're going to talk about today. I became a part of Clean Juice because of my own passion for this business and what we're all about. I, found my own true north within Clean Juice. So I know how important it is. It's so important to find what you love, do what you love and what really drives you. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today as it regards to you finding your true north, but then kind of how you could align with Clean Juice.
So why is that important? Why is it important when we talk about core values and finding the saying your true north? At the end of the day, if you're on this call, it's because you're interested in clean juice and franchising. And if you think about it, franchising, it's a long-term commitment. It's a 10-year franchise agreement. So what we know is it's not going to be sunshines and rainbows the entire trip. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be hurdles. And if your values aren't aligned and if you're not pulling in the same direction, you're going to have tension. The good news is that when you align yourself with the right company, you can get through those challenges together. We are truly a team. We are truly a family. So we have the same goals, and how we get there is the same way versus having some different values. So really excited to chat with you guys about this today.
So this is our mission and vision statement. This is kind of what we have been rooted, founded, and grounded on as we started Clean Juice several years ago. Our mission statement happens to be a Bible verse. Dear friend, I hope all is well with you and you are as healthy in body as you are strong in spirit. And really what that translates to is serving truly healthy products and touching guest lives in a positive way. That's really kind of what we're all about. We want to make sure that our guests leave feeling better than when they came in. And that's kind of what this is really all about here. Our vision statement, our vision is to become the world's most plentiful juice bar while maintaining meaningful relationships in the communities we serve. And that for us is so important that we maintain that vision, and that will only happen for us bringing on the right owners, people that align well with us, that make sure that they always maintain that local juice bar feel in their location.
That's right. Well said, Stace. And I think as when you look at mission and vision statements and core values, which we're going to talk about in a second, it's one thing to have words up on a wall. It's another thing to really embody those, really break them down, and live them on a day-to-day basis. And when I look at our vision statement here at Clean Juice, what really kind of sets it apart for me is when you look at the vision statement, the saying that says we are building meaningful relationships in the communities that we serve. That's our bigger vision. Yes, we are a juice bar and we're running this business, but at the end of the day, with all of the locations that are open, you're serving over 100 guests a day. You are impacting your local community. You're hiring people, you're giving guests that come in the best possible product. So as you're out there and you're looking for different concepts, make sure that you truly believe in and you internalize, what is the mission of the franchisor? Because again, if your true norths are not aligned, it's just going to cause for some bumpy roads as we get farther down the road.
One thing we joke about all the time is we say it's a 10-year agreement. And it's like a marriage. And if you marry the wrong person, we all know what happens. So it's really important that you align well. Our core values, these are our 10 core values. They really mean everything to us. They are not just pretty words on the wall. They happen to be hanging on the wall, but those are they really mean a lot to us. We strive to be this way as people, but more importantly, of course, how we do business here at Clean Juice. I was recently asked, what's more important, core values or revenue? And the answer really is both, right? But core values really directly affect revenue. And that's, kind of that holistic approach to making sure we embody all of these core values and align really well with each other. We strive to live by these values personally and how we do business. And one of the ways we actually turn that into an action, because it has to be more, these are all actions, is here at Clean Juice, we've been charged with each day. We'll go through a period of time where each day you choose a core value and you implement it into your daily business, like how you talk to people and treat people and find a way to live these out. We of course, they're all important to us, but for sake of time, Dave and I are going to share our two favorites with you today. My first favorite is fun and is a non-negotiable. Smiling is our favorite. This really comes down to that, as you see in parentheses there, internal joy. If you love what you do, it's fun, turn your passion into fun. We are all about fun here. Of course, we work really hard, but we also want to play really hard. It's not uncommon to see, crazy day, everyone's busy and no one's come up for air, but then they'll come out and someone will start a Nerf gun fight here in the office, or someone will be riding around on a skateboard to take a breather. But we like to have a lot of fun, and we want to partner with people who also want to have fun. Number 4 is another one of my favorites. Invite feedback, rely on open and honest communication. That one is about pushing each other towards greatness. One thing that comes to mind with that is one of our owners, she has been in marketing her whole career, came on board, owns a Clean Juice, and she has so many amazing ideas to bring. And we love that. We want our owners to interact and engage with us and give us feedback. So much so that we invited her to the office. She got to present these ideas to our management team so that we can use some of them and implement those into our business. So those are 2 of my favorites.
it's tough to really kind of think and pick out your favorites because, I think with all core values, we strive to really kind of live through these every day. And, for me, and it's kind of a running joke ever since the beginning of Clean Juice, number 7, transparency is the key to trust, has really kind of been, my main go-to. And I think a lot of it comes back to what we talked about in the beginning, just about aligning yourself with the right system, with the right franchisor. Look, at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's going to be a challenge. There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, but if you are completely transparent for the good and bad with your franchisors, with your vendors, with your system, we all have the same goal, and it's to continue to drive unit level economics in our stores. We want to help increase the sales volume in all of our stores. The only way to do that and have a successful partnership, not unlike a 10-year marriage, is to be completely transparent, because that truly is the key to trust. So for us, we truly live every day. And when we talk about transparency, it's kind of in 2 different aspects. One being in our stores. We serve the most transparent, fresh, non-organic products possible to our guests. And that's truly one of the things that sets us apart, being a certified organic juice bar. The second is in how we handle business, how we work with our franchisees, how we work with each one of you who are on this call who are interested in gaining more information about Clean Juice, about our system. So that's very important. And the next one for me is really number 8, and it's embrace chaos, stay calm, and learn as you go. A lot can be said about someone's character when they get put into troubling times. And it's none more relevant than as we sit, here today, just, in the middle of COVID-19 and everything that has happened. So, you have to embrace the challenging times, but not only embrace it, you can't freak out. You've got to be able to internalize it, take what has worked, make a change, and learn from it. Learn from what works, learn from what hasn't worked. So I think as you look through, exploring franchise options, it's one thing to understand what is their vision statement, what's their mission statement, what are they focused on, what are their core values. That's all great. We can all read that part of it, but dive into these conversations with people. Understand why are these important to them, and how does it affect the franchise system? Very important, because again, if you're not aligned, you're going to run into some, you're going to butt heads a little bit later down the road. So I love all of our core values. I think they're all really special, but I would say those 2 really kind of stand out most for me.
So where franchisees become family. This is a tagline we use pretty often because it's real for us. As you saw in the video, and that video is 4.5 minutes long, so there's a whole lot more of our family members in there, but we really are truly a family. We actually have families that partner with our family, and we are just kind of like one big unit doing this thing together. And we don't take that lightly. We're not quite about that. When someone comes out for a discovery day to come and meet the team, you get a good sense of what a big family that we are, and how we work very, very closely together ongoing. For us, it's a true partnership. We want to make sure we truly align with you and you with us. If you love us and we love you, then this is going to work out. For us, working together as one big family is how you're going to be successful. It's how we're going to support you. So really important to us. Obviously here you'll see kind of the few things like, how do you know if it's true alignment, partnership? What do we look for? Number 1 most important thing, strong passion for Clean Juice and living an organic lifestyle, or really being passionate about living a healthy lifestyle. And embodying our core values. What that really translates into is, do you believe treating people well is the most important thing? Because that really is the most important thing to us.
Yeah, that's great. And I think, guys, too, it's when you're exploring opportunities, it's important to know, what does the franchisor look for? What's going to make a successful franchisee? There's 3,800 different concepts out there, and they're all a little bit different. What you'll see, on the slide here is, what does Clean Juice look for? What it doesn't say on here is someone who has run a previous juice bar. Yes, that's great. If you have that experience, that's fantastic. But for us, we know that it's someone who truly has a passion for health and wellness. It's someone who truly gets enjoyment out of serving others and being a servant leader. And that's really where our owners thrive. It's those who are up for the grind. They have that business mindset, that entrepreneurial spirit. If you remember, we talked last week a little bit about why franchising now is a good idea. That once stable job is now kind of on shaky ground, and there's all these just professionals who are out there who have a passion for health and wellness. That's what we look for. The job of the franchisor is to provide support, to teach you how to run the business. So depending on the system that you align yourself with, those are questions you need to ask. What is the support and all that? But more importantly, how are they conducting business themselves? So it's something that we really look for. We love getting to know each and every one of you. And going through this kind of process is different for each individual person. It's individual concepts. But really for us, it's making sure we have someone who aligns with us, which is why we have the awarding process kind of set up the way that it is.
Because the first part to our entire process is a get to know you call, and that really is the purpose of that entire call, is to really just connect, get to know you to get to know us, to make sure it's a good fit.
Yeah. So unlike last week, we're going to try to stay on track with our time, so we be cognizant of everyone's time. So guys, really that was kind of the quick overview of really core values and why are they important. I think at the end of the day, it's up to you to kind of do your due diligence and have some of those deeper conversations with different franchisors and concepts that are out there. If you align with the right person and with the right group, you will have an absolutely amazing time. If you don't, things could go sideways.
And you'll have fun.
And you'll have a lot of fun. So again, just to be cognizant of time, we're going to kind of move into our Q&A, ask away. We had a lot of great conversations and questions that came up from last week's webinar. So if you have a question, please feel free to put it in the Q&A box or in the chat box as well. You can do either, and we'll kind of get started. First question that has come in. So how do we know that our values align, and will we get approved? Absolutely amazing question. I think when you look at if you're trying to align yourself with the right company, I think it becomes a very natural fit. It's not something that's forced. So when we look at our awarding process, it really starts with at the very beginning, getting to know really Stacy on the intro call, finding out why do you want to be a part of Clean Juice? What's driving you? What has changed in your life? Through that process, we have our intro call, then we have our request for consideration or our application process. We work through the FDD and the franchise agreement with you to make sure those questions are answered. Through all of that, we get to know you pretty well, but then it leads us into a discovery day. And a discovery day is really where we have the opportunity to sit down face to face, get to know you, you get to know us. A lot of concepts out there will do group discovery days where they'll pick one day out of the month, invite everyone in. We don't do it that way. We want to specifically get to know the owners who are coming on board. So the day starts with an opportunity to sit down with our founders, Kat and Landy, get to know them, hear their story on a personal level. You'll sit down with our executive team. We'll have some pretty detailed conversations with the owners about how they plan on being successful. And you spend the most of the day out with this one, out in the stores making smoothies.
Having fun.
So we have a blast. And the last part of that question is, how do you get approved? So one of the last things we do on a discovery day is kind of walk through any final questions. And we always get that question. So what's next? What are the next steps? Well, like we do with all of our owners, the decisions we make here, we make as a family. So we chat about the discovery day internally, and the franchisee obviously talks with their family. And if all good, if we love you and you love us, then we move forward to signing agreements. It's a pretty simple process. Yeah. Let's see. I have a question about hours. Could we open the store earlier, and what about holidays? Can we decide to close? So great question. So we do have our standard business hours that all of our stores follow. Now, there are exceptions. One of the exceptions, like as you mentioned, can I open earlier? We have some locations that are right next door in the same complex to a fitness center, and that fitness center has their first class opened at or finished at 7 o'clock. So they open a little bit earlier. So yes, there is some flexibility to it, but we do have a standard for how stores should be open. Do stores receive shipped pre-bottled juices, or are all they made in stores? Zach, great question. One of the beautiful things about Clean Juice and how we really set ourselves apart is all of our pressed juices are made in-house. So we have completely decentralized that process. What that ultimately means is your guests walking in your store get the absolute freshest product possible.
I missed the first part. Could you send this presentation to me? Yes, we're going to actually send out last week and this week's. We'll send that to everybody, so you'll receive that.
Let's see. Are you actually doing discovery days during this COVID stuff? Great question. So no, we have not done any physical discovery days as of yet. Really, we have multiple people who are ready to schedule discovery days, but until we get back to normal, we don't want to bring anyone in. We're expecting probably end of May, beginning of June is really when we're going to ramp things back up. Right now, we've got about 7 discovery days kind of ready to pull the trigger and get that actual process moving.
But now is the perfect time for us to do all the things we need to do in order to get to discovery days. So by the time we kind of open back up, we'll be ready to get you scheduled.
That's right. Let's see. What if there is not a perfect retail space in the area you want? How long do you have to wait? Great question, Katie. Development and real estate is literally where I've kind of spent my last 4 years here with Clean Juice. And what I would say is there is not a perfect retail space. And if you're looking for the perfect space, unfortunately in real estate, it just doesn't exist. We've signed now over 100 leases, and each one of them has its own pros and cons. Either it's a great space and it's too expensive, or it's a B location, but the rent is really good. So it's really a balance of finding what makes sense for our concept. Is it in the right market? Is it in the right center? Does it have the right co-tenants? What are the rent rates like? And then we really just kind of work through to make sure it's the same. What I can tell you is looking at our top 10% of stores in gross sales and the bottom 10% of stores in gross sales, just sheerly from a real estate standpoint, you really would not be able to just decipher which is in which. So what that means to us is that, yes, real estate is very important, but it's only about half of what makes a successful owner successful. The other part of that is, how do you operate your business? How do you treat your guests? How many guests do you have coming back every day? So that's really the bigger part of it. Let's see, finding locations. Are you providing studies on traffics in different locations? Great question, Patty. So we actually use 2 different types of software. We use one that's called Esri, E-S-R-I, another one that's called Locate AI. Both of these platforms are a little bit different, but at the end of the day have the same result, where what that will do is break down your normal demographics and traffic patterns and things like that, but it also breaks down psychographics and buying patterns. So what we know is, just because there's 500,000 people in an area doesn't mean it's a good location for Clean Juice. We're serving a very specific green organic product. So we need to make sure that people who buy green organic products are in that market. So we'll take a look at not only how much money do you make, but where do you spend your money? And then that's how we'll break down and really discern if it's a viable trade area to put in a Clean Juice. Let's see, compete for owners. What is the distance? Marcia, great question. So is there a non-compete in owners? What is the distance accepted between locations? So great question. And this is something that really sets our franchise agreement apart from a lot of other concepts. We don't have specific territory restrictions in the franchise agreement. And we do that very deliberately. In 2016, when we started franchising, we had the traditional language that said, if you are in an area and there's 100,000 people, you could have a store that is 5 miles away. Unfortunately, again, and this kind of goes back to talking about how we find real estate, that doesn't make sense for our model. It really depends on how many people who buy green juice are in your area. We have two stores here in Charlotte. They're about 1.2 miles away from each other, and they serve two completely different demographics, two completely different segments. You go to a place like New York City, you're going to have a lot of people, but a juice bar on every corner who all drink organic juice. So it really comes down to making sure that we're not cannibalizing business. One of the softwares that we use also gives us a cannibalization rate when we put in specific locations. So that kind of helps us guide where we're going to go. And ultimately, at the end of the day, our goal is to continue to build successful franchise partners, not cannibalize markets. You'll see a lot of concepts who have big headlines of just awarded 30 units and it's a big marketing ploy. At the end of the day, I don't care what our total number is of how many franchise units we have. What I want to have are the right successful franchise partners. Mm-hmm. When we get into a market, our strategy is always going to be underestimate the amount of units we can do in an area, let that store get open, then let's see where the guests come in. We know that on average, our guests come from less than 10 minutes away. So once we have about a store that's been open for about a year, we can really start collecting data on where people are coming from. Then that could open up some potential other opportunities in that market. Let's see here. And it looks like I have some questions in the Q&A, but for some reason cannot seem to open that up. So if you put a question in the Q&A box, if you want to add that in the chat box, we can go ahead and get that answered for you. Because for some reason I can't see it.
Scroll up.
Okay. Give it another minute to see if we have any other questions that come in.
Oh,
all right. Does the company provide financial assistance to new franchisees? You want to take that one?
Wow, good question. So we are coming up next week. Is it next week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. We are actually going to have one of these webinars about funding options, and we're actually going to have a special guest. So the answer is, do we provide financial assistance? We actually refer you to our lending partners. So we have a lending partner, Guided Financial is the name of them, and they are going to help all of our owners to obtain funding. So they kind of go through that whole process with you. Connect with you about your financials, see what would be the best option. They have lots of different programs and options, to help you get funding to open your clean juice. And that, of course, startup costs, all of that. So stay tuned. We're going to send you information on that one as well. Definitely join that. It's going to be extremely helpful to anyone that is looking at what are your funding options, and especially during this time, because right now there's going to be some really amazing options for funding and owning a business because of the times that we're in right now. So stay tuned for that. We'll have that information out to you soon about that webinar.
Yeah, and I would just say at the end of the day, the short answer is yes. The majority of franchise partners who come into, whether it's clean juice or any system, most of them don't have a financial background. Most of them aren't real estate experts. Most of them don't have supply chain experience. So that's really part of what we do and what we offer. And what you'll find as you kind of dive deeper into the funding options with a franchise of clean juice or anything is there are different avenues based on your financial picture. There's a traditional, conventional business loan. There's an SBA loan backed by the government. If you have a lot of money in your 401k, you can do a rollover program where you can take advantage of that money to start a business without being taxed on it. So there's a lot of different options, and Guided Financial has been one of our great partners that we've really built a great relationship with. So they'll be on here talking through just some different funding options in 2 weeks, and we'll get you guys some more info on that. Are there any coffee, iced coffee, coffee-based smoothies on the menu, or as a seasonal option?
Very, very important subject. Coffee is very important, and we think so too. So we have cold brew, so it doesn't really get much stronger than that. But yeah, we have cold brew coffee that we serve, iced cold brew coffee. We also have the coffee one. It's one of the most popular smoothies on our menu that has cold brew in it. It's almond butter, banana, delicious. So yes, we do have coffee based. We don't have fresh, hot coffee, but we do have cold brew coffee. And as it's on the menu, or as a seasonal option. And then sometimes we'll have some type of coffee menu item on our seasonal menu, but on our main menu, we do have our coffee one smoothie.
Good question. Will that webinar address specific franchise examples such as repayment loans, franchise fees, how many guests must come in? Great question, Patty. So really that webinar is going to focus really about the different ways that you can get funding for a franchise. When you start breaking down, repaying loans, that's going to be specific based on the individual bank that gives you that loan. How many guests per day? So this is something that we actually work with, and it's something we'll talk more about during Discovery Days. Is one of the things we ask franchisees who are coming in for Discovery Days to put together is what we call our business strategy plan. And really what we want to be able to do is say, hey, if you know what our average ticket price is and you know what your basic overhead is going to cost, put a plan together. And then what we'll do as a team is sit down and actually say, hey, does this make sense? Does it not? And we'll walk through and give you kind of what our averages are of if you have a average loan and average rent, and based on a $15.50 ticket price, we should be seeing this many guests per day. So it really comes down to the total costs of what your rent is. Do you have a loan, which really kind of drives that overall break-even cost. But Patty, great conversation, great question, and that's definitely something we can dive a little deeper into offline. Alexis, are there any hidden fees or expenses after startup costs? Are there any hidden fees? No, there are no hidden fees, and I think one of the things you'll find is
his favorite core value, transparency is the key to trust.
Going back to number 7, look, at the end of the day, it's all of our fees, and as should be with every franchisor, all fees should be outlined in what's called their in their FDD. So all initial startup fees, the initial investment costs, which is your item 7, but then your ongoing fees are also listed in there. In all of those, you will see a range because it does change. So no, there's no hidden fees after startup costs, but it is good to know what are the fees. There are fees for things like your POS machine. You have to be able to take money and actually exchange products. There's marketing fees. So all of the fees are there, but I promise you none of them are hidden.
I'll take the next one. How many people can we bring to Discovery Day? The answer is as many as you want. The more the merrier. A Discovery Day really is, again, Dave shared about that, but we don't do group Discovery Days. We do individual Discovery Days because it's your day to come here, bring whoever is a part of this journey with you. As many people, kids have come. We've had many children, families join on Discovery Day. So as many people as you'd like, and they're a lot of fun, very informational. But yeah, absolutely, you can bring as many people as you'd like.
We have in-house babysitters if we need to, and I think again, and Stacey hit the nail on the head where it goes back to you've got to have fun, and it's one of the reasons why we don't do big group Discovery Days. Look, if you're making this change, it most likely is a family affair. For whatever reason. So we have multiple owners who it's the parents and the kids are doing it, or it's a brother and a sister, or, mom and a dad. It's a whole family. So, for us, it's finding just where's your passion? Are you passionate about who we are and what we do? We love having kids. They're always kids running around the office.
Mm-hmm.
Do we assist in writing business plans for the loan? So what we will do, we'll give you the basic information of what's important to write a business plan. That's prior to signing your franchise agreement. Once you become an official Clean Juice franchise partner, we can then dive a little bit deeper and share some of our intellectual property and some of our business plans that have some very specific information to us. So short answer to that, Vanessa, is yes. We will help make sure that whatever business plans you need to submit to the bank or the landlord, that's all part of what we offer. We have a full finance team that really works through the individual finances, also offers a financial service to handle your accounting and bookkeeping and all of that on a monthly basis for our entire system as well. Do we have any cashless locations? No, we don't.
Except for right now, we're not accepting cash.
Except for right now, because of COVID, we are not accepting cash right now. But once we get back to normal, we do accept all the things that you would think of, the Apple Pays, and we have our app, which people can pay on that. So we do have all of those, but none of them have been totally cashless. All right, so it looks like, well, we're a little bit late on time, but we did better than we did last time. So guys, if there's no other questions, let us just kind of again say thank you for spending the time with us. We really want to be able to help you make the right decision, make sure that you get franchising questions answered, and also share more about who we are, why we love what we do. For anyone who wants to chat more in depth offline, obviously you can reach Stacy or myself. I'm just Dave@cleanjuice.com, Stacy@cleanjuice.com, STACI. It's Friday. But guys, we're so happy you're here. So just a little sneak peek into kind of next week. So again, next week, Friday, May 8th, we're really going to break down what the total investment costs are. So this goes back to kind of one of the earlier questions about, are there hidden fees? And we'll share with you what our item 7 is, which is our initial investment costs. And you guys are also going to have the opportunity to hear from one of our area developers from Texas, Nick Pepitone, where he's going to actually break down his individual store and how he looked at the item 7 and then how that compared to what his actual costs were. So stay tuned for that. You're going to get some great information on that. And guys, that's all I have. So thank you guys so much. If you need anything, you know where to find us, and we'll chat with you all next week.
Bye, everyone.